Episode 1, Greenfield. Coming to you from Houston, Texas, NACE International, the National Association of Corrosion Engineers, brings you NACE at IAAPA, Corrosion Control for Amusement Parks and Attractions, Part 1. In this episode, NACE International President and Principal Consultant for Consulex, Terry Greenfield, is interviewed from the loud and lively floor of the Global Attractions Industry's premier event. Greenfield shares insights into how attractions owners can assess and minimize risk, benefit corrosion management planning, and his thoughts on the outlook for the future of the amusements industry in the area of corrosion prevention and control. Now, here are your hosts, Elisa Reich and Terry Greenfield.
Okay, this is Terry Greenfield, President of NACE International. We're going to ask a few questions. We're here at IAAPA. Terry, tell us a little bit about your initial impressions of the IAAPA show.
Oh, it's a great show. I mean, from the technical shows that we're used to doing, it's great to see people with bumper cars and roller coaster rides. You can hang upside down from a ride if you want to. Probably going to pass on that one. But it's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, a very different group, but a group as an industry that has a definite need for corrosion control. You know, we've seen some of the issues that over the last couple of years in the news with amusement park rides and carnival rides and how corrosion affects them. So we came and had a presentation as a group to start to explore some opportunities for them to look and reach out with NACE International to find some, whether it's standard development or education, whatever it may be, to help solve some of the problems. I was really impressed with the turnout for the presentation, that actually people recognizing they do have issues with corrosion and are looking for solutions. So, several standpoints to look at. One, huge show, a lot of activity, very different than I'm used to attending, but a lot of fun and a very good discussion and a good turnout and with interest in corrosion.
So tell me about how amusement park owners can take care of their assets to make sure that they extend the life and keep customers safe and get the highest ROI.
You know, it's funny, when we had the presentation today, I usually start out with the definition of reaction being proactive, and where do you fit in as far as your management style, and typically most fit into a very reactive mode. And that's in many industries, but those that have had to manage risk see that there's great benefit, operational safety first, to taking a proactive mode and measures into implementing corrosion management within their program. So, I lost. So again, after recognizing that there's need for improvement, today we talked to them about being able to start to dissect their operation a little bit and look for where there's opportunity, whether it's in the design, the material selection, and that includes the coating systems used, how they're installed, the protection systems, having effective maintenance programs where they're looking for where there's potential structural issues. So again, it's a multi-tiered approach to being able to examine all the different elements that make up a safe program, and we kind of touched on that with them today.
And how can a amusement park owner or amusements industry asset owner know if they have what they need and ensure that they have what they need to prevent corrosion?
Well, they know they don't have what they need when they have failure, and hopefully the failures don't result in loss of life or other issues. Generally, if they do not have any first acceptance or acknowledgement of corrosion as a potential risk, I would say they don't have any element of a program. So what they need to do is first acknowledge the potential for the risk and how corrosion relates to it. Then to look within their operation to see where they're most affected by corrosion and where the greatest potential risk is proposed as a result of that. And from there, you can start to formulate a plan to be able to reap ideally economic benefits as well as safe operation. So
What are the most important benefits of having a corrosion management plan or system in place?
The obvious and most important is safe operation. Again, no one wants to get hurt. We want to have a great, no litigation as a result. So the most beneficial is safe operation. Beyond that, there's the element of ultimately with a well-implemented program, you'll see long-term financial benefit. Especially considering the different type of amusement parks, fixed locations where they're built in place, the regular maintenance programs, you're going to see a great return on investment. Same kind of looking at the carnivals that typically take down and may rebuild. Well, a lot of their maintenance is done in the wintertime. But if it's capturing all the work that needs to be done, they'll have less effort to keep everything operating properly during the season when they're working. So that's uptime as well. So generally, it's all good. There's no downside other than the commitment and the time and potentially a little bit of investment up front that's going to see great return throughout the life cycle of the product.
So, as president, in your year, we've pretty much started our efforts in this industry in earnest. So, what is your vision for NACE and the amusements industry moving forward, and where do you see things in the next 5-10 years?
I hope we're going to see some standards development. One of the discussions today was getting ahead of regulatory potential requirements and looking at the lessons we've learned, putting together standards for different amusement areas, whether it's aquaria and the use of stainless steels and materials and saltwater to selective coatings and other elements. So I hope the first stage is we help create standards that are beneficial, even through inspection of potential corrosion issues within the rides that benefit the parks and the industry as well as those that ride on the assets.
And how do you think NACE is uniquely qualified to help this industry when it comes to standards and regulatory issues?
That's what we do. We're the corrosion professionals. I mean, that's the elements where standards are one of our strengths. We look at, and especially over the last few years, we're really looking how to leverage what we've learned in other industries and to share that with industries that are in need and just now recognizing the impact that corrosion has on their operations.
Tell me a little bit about how the amusements industry could work together. There goes a roller coaster. Try that again. Tell me a little bit about how the amusements industry could do better to work together, or what they could do to have a better impact on corrosion control prevention.
Like all industries, there's an element of competition, right? There's the revenue, and I love the ride noise in the background. This is really fitting for the podcast. But the big issue they have is by sharing some of their problems and working as a industry to solve those problems, they all benefit. And ultimately, the returns, the minimizing risk, benefits the entire industry for them. And they can be competitive on other issues. But as far as with safety, the aspects of corrosion relate to safe operations, there's a lot they could share and learn from each other that would benefit the industry. And again, that we see that in the production of good standards.
Thanks for listening to NACE at IAAPA, Corrosion Control for Amusement Parks and Attractions, with Elisa Reich and Terry Greenfield. NACE International is a not-for-profit association that equips society to protect people, assets, and the environment from the adverse effects of corrosion. If you like our show and want to know more, check us out at nace.org. That's NACE.org. And be sure to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. See you next time.